show. Hey, how's everybody doing, man? Hey, today on this show is a special show for not just one reason, but actually two reasons. Because when I first came onto this show, there was other brothers that were already part of the show, already uh, going forward with it. And now we have one of the OGs, the originals, to come back to do this special show with me, man. When I knew that we was going to have this one, it was only right that I asked this man to come on back and grace us with his presence, because no one would have been able to do it like him. So hey, I know y'all remember him, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Larry Ketchum. Come on up to the stage, brother.
Hey, what's up, Herb, man? I appreciate that.
Man, when Seth agreed to do this show, I was like, I got to get Larry on. And I had to
Appreciate
hurry
that.
because I know, Seth could be on the fence sometimes. I was like, man, let me hurry up and get this man to say yes before Seth changed his mind. So as soon as he said that he was thinking about it, like, I'm gonna hit Larry up right freaking. I called you. You know, I was like,
You
let me
did, you
call.
did.
Make sure I call this man. But man, what's been new with you, dog? How you been?
Man, living life here in Virginia, ACC, Air Combat Command, man, this place is a beast. I'll tell you that. It ain't for the weak.
Yeah. What do you think the biggest difference is, real quick? What's the biggest difference between where you was at to where you are now?
The speed, man, with all the changes. I don't know, for those that are not non-Air Force, ACC is the lead command for a lot of things. And so you're on board, you're off board, and all these major, defense systems. You think about your aircraft, your combat command, just the key word. So we're getting rid of stuff, we're bringing on new stuff, and then all the other MASH comms are looking for us. It's like, what is ACC doing? And, we figuring it out sometimes by the seat of our pants, man.
No doubt.
So it's working. Let's just say I got a lot of gray hairs up here. That's why the hat on right now.
Well, one thing's for sure, man. I'm definitely glad that you came on back today. I'm gonna go ahead and admit it here live. I mean, this man right over here is my wife's favorite and everything.
I love it. I appreciate her. I love her, but you my boy, Herb.
But no doubt, man. But go ahead and do the introduction for our guy real quick, man. What's going on with him?
All right. So I know the world's been waiting for this, and I'm a big fan of this man. He's a mentor to me, a big bro, OG, whatever name you want to put out there, man. But I think this show was well overdue. We get ready to introduce the man, the myth, the legend himself. Like, this guy's an author, man. He's a speaker, a coach, a DJ, educational professional, wounded warrior rep, a student. Don't forget, he's a student now. He'll let you speak on that when we get to that. And a corporate leader. And the titles is endless with this man. So let's just bring him on to the show, Seth Miller. Come on.
Yeah. Look at him cheesing. That's what I'm talking about.
He ain't cheesing. He ain't shy, though. Don't let him fool y'all, America.
Not at all, man. Hey, yo, what's up, man?
Man.
But hey, you know what? Hey, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, bro.
Oh man, hold
Yeah,
on.
who are you?
Damn. Oh man, I don't think, man, that hit me. That hit me. I ain't go front. I ain't know how it's gonna feel, y'all. Man, I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all so much, bro. It ain't much. I don't like talking about me. You dig? But
We know.
Ah,
oh man, but it's so weird.
So let me start off.
Yeah,
with
go
this.
ahead.
Here's the reason why I felt this show was very important. We're about professionalism, leadership, growth with a call to action.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you came up with that stuff, you was already talking about yourself, man, because this is stuff that you do all the time. You know what I mean? And what I wanted is for people to see, you know what I'm saying, the things that you've done, you know what I'm saying, in the background and whatnot. And what does it take to get there? You know what I mean? Because there's people all over the place that want to try all these different things and ride in all these different lanes, right?
Yeah.
But they might be frozen in place.
You're right.
So that's why this show is important, brother. So let's tell us a little bit about yourself.
Damn, man. Well, look, first thing first, man. Like I said, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody that's listening, man. Just a little bit about me. Hey, from Detroit, single parent household, but also being able to, or have been surrounded with individuals that had that don't quit attitude. You know what I mean? Who knows? It could just be that whole Detroit swagger or the individuals that were surrounded around me and that I surround myself with. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. There were some things we did that was kind of out of line, growing up, but you didn't know any better. But luckily, those individuals helped to push me towards a certain direction, and they saw some things in me that I didn't necessarily see, but I kept on going. So in a nutshell, man, that's me, man. I just love connecting with people, serving others, and love growing and learning things in the mix of all that.
No doubt. You want to start it off, man?
Yeah. So let's talk. You gave us a little snapshot of you in Detroit.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what made you make the decision to join the Air Force. What came about with that?
Right. Well, the first thing was, I saw what my life could be. You understand? I saw what it could be. My mother taught me a long time how to watch certain things, and you can predict the future. You dig? What up, Joe Nikki? That's my sister. Hey, what up? What up? So she showed us, right? Me and my sister, if you keep watching this person, watch what's going to happen in the next couple of years. And I said, yeah, all right, whatever. But she wasn't lying. And so I realized I didn't want to do that. You feel me? Now, couple of individuals, like I said, I would hang out with, or let's say some OGs will say, hey man, look, you might want to try this, or this ain't really for you. I see you doing different things. And so when the military crossed my mind, right, like in my high school, there was a ROTC, but it was Air Force. But I was like, yo, they said it's hard. All right, whatever, let's see, right? And that's it. I never really feared away or shunned away from a challenge. I kind of went with it, didn't do too much research. Shout out to all those Aries out there, right? We get it in and we just make it happen, right? So I just went in. Somebody said it was hard, and I was like, well, I'm harder. You dig? And I just wanted to lead Detroit. So that's in a nutshell. That was it.
Bet, man. So, like we said, we're going to talk about the different hats that you wear.
Yeah.
And now you're in the Air Force.
Yeah.
Now, was your desire to have the different, let's call them the side hustles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is your desire to have different side hustles? Did that start before the Air Force, or was that something that was kind of coached into you while you were serving?
No, that's a good question. I think it was already in me, but adversity helped to birth it, if that makes sense. So I had a motorcycle. All right, got into a car accident, or excuse me, an accident. And so when I wrecked my motorcycle, I'm like, yo, I want to get this fixed. So I got a part-time job. When I got a part-time job at a nursing facility, actually a nursing home. So I just I was a CNA, I was an NA, then became a CNA, and I was doing that. And then I realized, wait a minute, I could do the military and have a part-time job. Too easy, right? So I started looking, just getting the bread. And every time something happened, I just found a different way to kind of stay focused, keep moving, but also just keeping my hand close to the pulse of the community. So my first base was at Whiteman, Missouri. And for those of you that know, that's like right in the middle of Kansas City, Kansas, and St. Louis. And it's a little base right there. But it was a great opportunity where I learned what community looked like, but how to get it in no matter where I was at.
Okay. And then I know, as I know the background as far as, starting off, I believe you started off in services and then you end up going over to civil engineer.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what made you want to go crossover from one functional to another?
Yeah, too easy. So basically, well, my recruiter, right, he was like, yo, have you ever wanted to just run a club and be a club owner? Yo, you ask any 18-year-old, 17, yeah, right?
Yeah.
So boom, I'm in services. So the first job I got, Herm, I was on the grill.
You ain't running no kind of club, man. The breakfast club.
It's the club though.
Yeah. But anyway, so I did that for a time, and then got to get my hand in like learning storeroom clerk. Okay. Did worked at the gym, went TDY a couple of times, did lodging, deployed a few times, but I realized, I didn't come to the military just to leave Detroit. I really wanted to learn something. Not saying that wasn't nothing to learn, but my passion wasn't necessarily in the operations of customer service that way. So I said I wanted to leave with some type of a trade. So that's when I cross-trained to civil engineer to be a HVAC technician, heat and cooling technician.
No doubt. So going into your different personas real quick, probably one of your earlier personas is one I knew you as DJ Scooby, right?
Yeah.
When did DJ Scooby when was he born and how did that come about?
It's crazy. Adversity. Listen, I was going through a divorce, and my mentor, shout out to Steve, he was like, man, what you doing? I was like, nothing, man. I was just in my at my spot, just drinking and just feeling away, just beat down. And he was like, man, I know you like music, because I was making little beats here and there, but I just stopped focusing on that. He was like, look, come with me, I'm about to do this retirement. Okay. And I was like, what you mean do it? So he had a mixer. Okay, had a like a regular mixer, a CD player, and you know those home entertainment centers or those big stereos. He took out the the CD player. Right, so you had a CD player, the real big CD player, a mixer, and then a Walkman. And he was like, yo, you can help me with this. And so everybody's at this retirement ceremony, and he was showing me how to do this. I'm like, wait a minute, this is pretty dope. He was like, see, you fade this over, you played it, but see, you got to listen over here. So he was helping me with this. I'm like, yo, okay, I like that. So fast forward, I said, man, I want to learn how to do this. And so he helped me out, right? He wasn't a DJ, but he understand how, you know, the mixer worked. But I ended up getting more equipment. I got a one Walkman, and shout out to Terry. She gave me hers, right, to work with, and I just started doing different things. And then so I just learned that way, very minimum. But what happened was I wanted to put on shows, okay, on the bass. At this time, this was McCord. So the first show was called The Night of Essence. It was poetry, right? Super dope. And I hired a DJ. He did pretty good, but then the bass wanted more. And then so I found another DJ, and he was like, he sucked, all right? For the lack of like, what I mean by that, he played music that only he liked, not what the crowd liked. And I'm like, yo, you're not using, like, see the crowd. I'm like, you know what? All right, let me see what I'm gonna do, see what I can do. So the next event we had, I didn't call him back. I just started doing it myself. And then it started working. And I'm like, well, what am I gonna call myself? And I just thought about my name, Scooby. But when I looked it up, now internet was out, but not as, a lot. When I looked for DJ Scooby, it was a million of them, but it wasn't any DJ Scooby 313s from Detroit. So I was like, that's it. And then it stuck. And so that's been since 2004.
Hold on 1 second, Larry, because we kind of breezed by something, and this is kind of one of the things that I kind of want to like highlight about you.
What?
How in the hell did you just started putting on shows on the bass? You know what I'm saying? Like you breeze past that, you a CE person. What are you doing putting on shows on the bass? How does that happen?
Okay, got it. All right, adversity. All right, adversity. So within the time of me going through my divorce, I realized that it was going to take some money. All right, it was going to take some money, and all these other things. So I looked for other jobs on the bass, and what was hiring was the club. But they were hiring for a dishwasher. I'm like, yo, whatever. I don't care. I would do whatever I got to do. So I'm busting suds. And then I was talking to other people that worked there. I'm like, yo, y'all don't ever put on any events where nobody ever wanted to. I'm like, well, look, I want to. And I ended up talking to my mentor. So it started getting to the point where fast forward after us doing that one show, I would work there, busting suds, change clothes, and put on my regular DJ clothes and go in the other room and DJ and put on parties. You get what I'm saying? So
that's the kind of hustle that I'm talking about.
That's what happened. That's how
what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Larry.
And staying into this music piece, something that the world may not know. Let's talk about the executive producer, Seth. Let's talk about that music piece of it, where you was out here producing CDs, out here trying to get your rap, not your rap, but just putting out music with your artists.
That's true. Damn, I forgot all about that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So went from that. So me putting on these shows, it was a production company called AIV Productions. Ajay, that's my middle name, Ajay Intervision. And so I was making music and really selling them, right? Look, it got to a point where look at my Nikki. No, it
She
got to a
own it.
point where, yeah, she owned it. Look, it got to the point where I had a studio in my apartment, right? People used to come in, record, and I made mixtape. Y'all remember like Desert Storm and like,
Mhm.
those mixtapes. So I would do that. And so as I would do that, I would make CDs and I give them to the artists. But then I was also pushing them too because I had instrumentals. So the instrumentals would be later on in the CD. And so I just kept on doing that. Then I got orders. All right. I got orders from McCord and ended up going to Korea. So I was DJ Scooby, but also had a recording booth in the other side of my room while I was a dorm manager. So I started signing artists for that time that was left on their career term. Right? I had a couple of artists. We did tours in certain places we weren't even supposed to legally be, right? But we was just getting it in, having a good time. So door manager, DJing, and producing individuals all at the same time. Yep.
And then also while you were at Korea, I mean, it's going right to it.
Mhm.
You started a poetry jam out there, didn't you? You know what I
Yes.
mean?
So
right out in the old lounge or something like that. You started a poetry jam.
Mhm.
How did that start, and what did that lead to?
So basically, man, it started in Washington at McCord. Remember, that first event was called the Night of Essence. And it was such a thing that when I got to Korea, it was people that was there, and I didn't, that was at McCord. It was like, yo, I was like, okay, well, whatever. There's already something that was going on there. So basically the person that was running the poetry show came to me and was like, hey, I heard about what you did over at McCord. I'm getting ready to leave. You want to take this on? And I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm looking at the crowd. It was like maybe 8 or 9 people. 6 of those individuals were the poets. So I'm like, okay, so what's missing is promotion, right? Vision, consistency, and word of mouth. I said the main promoters are right here. The individuals that have. So I told them, cool, I'll do it. But we're going to change the name from Poetry Night to the Night of Essence. All right. So had to sit down with them. And within, I would say, 2 weeks, we started at the Challenger, and it was jam packed because everybody was promoting. Y'all remember having Yahoo Messenger and everything?
Mhm.
So I gave everybody a script. All right. This is what you say. Boo, boo, boo. This is what you say. This is what time I'm going to be there. Boo, 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 boo. We go be there at this time. So on Friday nights, we will start off with the poetry, and then it will go into just regular club nights. Right. So I would DJ and produce that part, and then I will go into the regular club night. But when the other DJ come in, I just stop and I just chill. You dig? So that's how it started. But it got to the point where AFN was there. Different people were common all over the place, but it was an enlisted club. Right. So then one of my mentors at that time, Chief Massey, big dude, big chief. You remember Chief Massey? Yeah, Comm Group. Command chief. He was like, oh no, their chief. He wanted command chief. He was like, hey, look, I'm gonna have a meeting at the Blue Opera downtown. All right, right outside the base. Right, and he said, I'm gonna have a meeting on this Sunday. I want you to come. And I was like, all right, what's up? He said, I'm gonna have a meeting with the owner to see what you can do down here. He says, because a lot of people want to come, but because of the restriction, only enlisted individuals can come in, you're missing out on some clientele. I'm like, all right, well, let's see. So had that meeting, man. It was like maybe 15 minutes. I told him what I did, and he says, okay. He says, are you going to charge at the door? I was like, yeah, $5. He says, okay. And then he said, if I can guarantee X amount of wine for the bar. And when I looked at the bar, I saw Hennessy, Crown, and
Hypnotic, all you got everything.
Hey, I was like, no problem, right? So that was on a Sunday. I got with the crew. I told them what the vision was and told them that we were going to do the next show down, where we were at. Got some tickets made out and everything. That was on a Sunday when I finally communicated with everybody after the meeting. I got some tickets made. Boom, boom, boom. We were sold out by Thursday. Okay, sold out by Thursday. I get to the spot. I see the owner and everything. He says, "You ready? You ready?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting everybody situated." And he says, "What time do you start?" I was like, "Remember, I'm gonna start at 8." So there were people eating, right? He told people that was eating, he said, hey, you either got to finish eating or you got to pay him $5, right? I was like, wait
Hey
a
man, they don't care, dog. There ain't no etiquette in Korea, man.
minute, bro. I was like, you ain't go ask nicely. He was telling basically, look, eat, hurry up and go, right?
Body,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right. And so anyway, man, just to wrap it up, we sold out. It was packed, man. So we got to the point where we were alternating Fridays. So one Friday would be on the base, right? That's like the home hub. But the other Fridays would be down at the Blue Opera, man. And it was outstanding, bro. It was outstanding.
That's what's up, man.
And so this goes to another question I got for you, and this is important because I think you hit on it already. The importance of mentorship and the
Yes.
importance of networking. Like
Yes.
I'm gonna consolidate those into just one question because I think that is what led to all the other different type of hats that you wear. So now we're talking about your DJing, but talk about how that inspired you to do these other things that you now do in your personal life now.
That's a great question. You know what inspires me is outside of my daughter, okay, outside of her, I've had to learn how to listen for real, man. Really, how to listen to people that see things in me that I don't and stop telling them what I believe is the truth. If you got individuals that's around you, right, and they have lived life, you get what I'm saying? It's almost stupid of us to say, yeah, I already know. Nick, like who are you talking to? Like, you don't know nothing, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Right.
but surrounding myself with these people, men and women, right? Don't get it twisted, but individuals that have that wherewithal. And don't get me wrong, rank doesn't matter. Those positions don't necessarily matter because people are in positions and they don't even know where they're going. You dig?
Hmm.
And so just I don't know, man. It's just like a feeling like, okay, this person really cares, not just about me, but cares about what I'm able to do and how we can kind of reverberate. So,
Hmm.
No doubt, man. And I think that's one thing that people, I know I'm picking up, and people that's listening, I hope they're picking up is you are very inquisitive. You know what I'm saying when it comes to how you approach things, and it seems like you have very little fear. You know what I'm saying when it goes to like hey, I'm about to just start hosting parties on the base. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, hey, I'm about to start DJing off this man over here. You know what I mean? Like you just hop in and start doing it.
Yeah.
Which leads to, man, what made you think that, you know what I'm saying, you would be able to be an author, you know what I'm saying, for these books? What kind of sparked that for you? And what started that journey was like, hey, I'm about to start penning some books.
Ooh, man. You know, I really, that's crazy. We talked about that. I
Mm-hmm.
really don't know what. I believe part of it is what you just said, man. That lack of fear. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm afraid of, things that have proven to be detrimental. All right. Or that I see that can lead my life into, to end quickly, little things like that. I avoid those things. But I'm not afraid of what I don't know. You get what I mean? So, connecting with people, having conversations, y'all know I like to talk, but I like to dig. But as I dig and communicate with individuals, I guess the way that I communicate, I was hearing more and more, yo, you need to write this down or you need to put this in a book. And I never really took it serious until I was like, maybe because fun fact, I started a clothing line when I was in Korea called the Black Collar Clothing. All right. Now, no, as a matter, yeah, it was in Korea, Black Collar Clothing, and it went very well, very well. Connected with factories over in Korea, and then when I went to Guam, hooked up with another one over in the Philippines. All right, super dope, and it did pretty well. But it was more than just a name; it meant something. So the black collar mindset is basically what you see when you close your eyes. The color that you see at first is black, but then you see your vision. You see what you truly want. You see you see your dreams, you see your aspirations. So the collar, like, the white collar worker is the clerical worker, the blue collar is more the engineer, right? The
Work with the
technician,
engineers, yeah.
right? But that black collar, you can wear that collar no matter what you're doing. So case in point, here I am and wearing a uniform, but I'm DJing because I can see past what I do 9 to 5, right? Or, I'm working at a nursing facility, or excuse me, a nursing home, because I can see past what I'm doing here. So for those individuals that have that desire, that goal, that aspiration, that's a mindset that helps you to know that you may have to do the things, do the things that you have to do, but that doesn't mean you can't do what you want to do at the same time. So yeah. And so I
Okay.
studied in the
Okay. So then we're gonna fast forward just a tad because I want to get to the point where we cross paths. And we
oh,
cross paths here at Scott Air Force Base. I met
mhm.
Seth in the parking lot of the education center. He was going to this thing called Toastmasters. I was going to the education center to register for class. I think I was finishing off my degree or whatever, and I just got there maybe 2 weeks in, and we locked eyes as we met because we was walking toward the same door. And he introduced himself. He said that "What up, though?" However he greeted me. "Oh, what's up?" And we kind of had small talk. And he invited me to this meeting called Toastmasters. Now I'm naive. I have no idea what the hell a Toastmasters is. It personally, I was like, toast. So we going to have toast, some butter, some wine. Like, what is this?
Right.
And so he invited me to this meeting, and then from there we've been locked in ever since. But
Yeah.
the question I have for you is, I want you to talk about the influence that, because this goes back to that networking too. What Toastmaster has done to spawn on your other career adventures, as far as leadership, all your professional development stuff. All the things. I think Toastmasters kind of, for me anyway, kick that off.
No, no, no. You hit it on the head, man. Well, first, I'm gonna go back to why I end up getting and how I got involved with
Hmm.
Toastmasters. So basically, like y'all, those of you that's in the military or familiar with it, there's a time when you may meet a board, okay, for an award. All right, either quarterly award, annual award, or whatever. And so my supervisor at the time put me up for an award. And I'm like, okay, cool. He said, so you're gonna have to meet the board. Like, all right, whatever. I got that. He told me what it was about. It's cool. But here's the deal. When I'm sitting in front of 5 individuals that I know, I didn't realize that there was a level of anxiety there. Okay. To the point where the first question they asked was, so tell us about yourself. And I started to say, well, my name is, right, to Seth, right? I forgot my name. I was gone. I'm like, wait a minute, my name is, wait, hold on. Okay. So anyway, so I bombed it, right? Didn't get the award, whatever, right? Because it sucked. And so my supervisor said, hey, look, you might want to try this, right? Toastmasters, and same thing. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like eating toast or something like that. I didn't know. But when he introduced it to me, I went to go check it on out. I'm like, wow. So it is an organization to help you to articulate yourself better, gather your thoughts, and make them more succinct. So, knowing me, I have a lot of thoughts and there's a lot of things that I want to say, but just because it makes sense to me doesn't make sense to the individual that I'm talking to. And there was a lot of times when it wasn't, and I didn't know it, and I felt as though something was wrong with them. You dig? Yeah, right. The audacity. So, what it helped me to do was not only learn how to communicate better, but also listen better, right? Listen to myself and listen to when an individual is picking up what you're putting down and not. And then so it helped me to, well, as I honed those skills and did different things, different certifications, I realized that a lot of the things that was missing in organizations, military, nonprofit, whatever, is a communication problem.
Hmm.
That's really what it is, right? We can even say leadership, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes a lot of times, that title means absolutely nothing. Do they know what they have to do? And do they know how to communicate to individuals what needs to be done? So, with that missing piece, I'm like, yo, why don't I just utilize it? Learn more, and teach. That's all. Then I put a
Hey,
couple can you dig it in there and it's easy.
hey, Herm, I got a quick follow up before you go with yours, and because I think this is right on point. Seth, explain to the masses what the acronym WAIT means, because I
Mm.
still use that in my briefings that I do today, and you should see the look on some of those people's face when I say that, because what you said is very important about not only talking, but what are you saying? Are you really saying something, or are you just talking just because you feel like talking? So hit them with that WAIT.
No, absolutely. So wait stands for why am I talking? Asking yourself first, why am I talking? Like, does what I want to be said have to be said by me? And maybe if I wait a minute, my answer may be there. It may come to me. But the other one is waste.
Mm.
Yeah, it's another one. Why are you still talking? You dig? Some people don't know how to shut the hell up. Why am I still talking? Hey, if they're not getting it, chill out. You dig? So yeah, that's what it stands for. Why am I talking and why am I still talking? Some people don't
Right.
care. Yeah.
Man, okay. Yeah, because some people they're just listening so they can start talking again.
Yep.
Period.
They're not really actively listening to you, man.
Right.
So going back a little bit to your books, right?
Uh-huh.
This is one of the questions. Like we talk about no fear,
Uh-huh.
right? For a man to write a book about sex, right? I was like, yeah, he really don't give a damn. You know what I mean? Like, explain to the people when you said, you know what? I just wrote this mentorship and development book. Well, I'm gonna get to this one. What was the thought process in putting pen to pad when you wrote that book?
Oh boy. Okay. So it was many thoughts, right? It's many thoughts. But I would say that, man, I'm I like to serve. Okay.
Hold on, time out. The book's name is The Pearl for those that are listening.
Mhm.
So if y'all want to go check it out, the name of the book is The Pearl. But go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So look, man, look, I like to teach, right? Naturally, I love to, but I'm not afraid of communicating my the things that I didn't know. You see, the things I didn't know. And so when it came down to that book, man, I waited for a while. Like I was writing it and putting it together for years, but I knew I couldn't do it while I was still in the military, right? Like, yo, chill out, right? It's like making the same book while I'm supervising. It's just
Damn,
weird.
you're stripping, man.
Mhm.
Goddamn.
Yeah, like and then I want somebody to, do what I say do. That's stupid. Like, really? But anyway, so yeah, but wrote the book, excuse me, but really wanted to communicate about how men, we assume that we know what we're doing when it comes down to the aspect of intimacy. Just because we are men does not mean that we know. And also, it does not mean that the one person, or let's say two, three, however your count is, that everyone should be treated the same or handled the same way. And as we grow, we learn different things. So as you learn, you listen, but then you try not to do the same dumb things over and over again, even when it comes down to intimacy and relationships and, building a better relationship with an individual. So the title of the pearl symbolized that even though there's many pearls out there, they're not all made the same. They're all unique. And so basically what this book does helps you to really hone in to who you're actually intimate with and why. But on the flip side, for the young lady or ladies or women that read the book, it's a way to communicate your desires to an individual that may not know. So there are certain techniques that you can use that's paired with fruit, okay, that you can, kind of use for yourself and to help to communicate this with your significant other. Hey, say, hey, you know what? I know you want to try certain things, but this is how I like it done. You see how this is how. So they're not just practicing on you, if that makes sense. So yeah,
Yep.
hopefully
And with
that that hits at
go
all.
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does. And with those books, you started venturing off into your professional development seminars where
Yeah.
you started being hired.
Mhm.
This post-military. I don't know if this is why you were military. I know it was definitely post-military.
Mhm.
And then you started getting involved with the Wounded Warriors. So can you speak on how that book grew to where now you're hosting events and
Yeah.
actually doing seminars for your professional development services?
Okay. Well, look. Well, first thing I want to clarify, it wasn't that book that got me.
Okay, I'm about to say. I'm about
No, that wasn't it. So, yeah, the black collar mindset. So yeah, man. Basically, as I was communicating and so all this happened while I was still in the military with the first book. And y'all remember, if y'all don't, or those that's listening, this is during the time when my mother was passing away. Okay.
Mhm.
And one of the things that she said when I was talking to her was like, yo, what can I do? What do I need to do? And she was like, she asked me, she was like, aren't you writing a book? She said, finish that book. All right. What's going on, Patrice? So she was like, finish that book. And I'm like, okay, cool. Right. So that kind of helped motivate me, to do that. But so as I was promoting the book, I connected with a young lady that helped to put little book releases and conversations together in the community. And I'm like, okay, well, that's super dope. I never thought about doing that. Now, when it comes down to the Wounded Warriors, the chief at the time, the command chief was like, hey, we're going to have a group here called the Air Force Wounded Warriors, and we want you to be the enlisted program manager. Okay.
Mhm.
And he says, then we're going to find you an officer. I said, okay, cool. So we found that we got together, whatever, and then I met their lead. Okay. I met their lead, Marsha. Shout out to the Wounded Warriors team and everything. I'm still with them today, as a matter of fact. So I talked to her, let her know what I did and how I can help on out. And she just loved the stuff that I was talking about. And so she asked me, her and her other colleagues asked me to come to Randolph, right? To not only talk about my book, but to communicate detachment. All right. So if you think about it, when you are a case manager and you're working with individuals that's going to, going through different things, you kind of hold on to them to the point where those individuals are so attached to you, they don't you don't know how to wing them off type of thing. So I was basically asked, since I was in the military, I was kind of TDY, but to do a professional development for them. So I wasn't set the speaker really. I was just talking about certain things that was in the book, but how it can correlate to them as staff members. And
Mhm.
man, ever since then, man, it kicked off. And so, yeah, yeah,
yeah. So right on track with that when we talk about self the speaker,
okay.
because we really haven't gotten to the origins of that yet either. Like when did that begin? Like when did you feel like, you know what? Was it Toastmasters that helped breed that, or was that before Toastmasters? When did that begin, and when was your first speaking engagement like?
You know, let's see. My first speaking engagement.
Outside of professional stuff, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
military stuff. I mean,
no. The first speaking engagement. It's kind of still a part of the military. So, Larry, you remember the veterans, the suicide against, you remember
Yep.
that event that we
Yeah,
did
I remember that.
on
Yeah.
Veterans Day? So, leading up to that, I was asked by Maryville University, okay, to speak on, for Veterans Day, but to speak to their students that were veteran students, and just to talk about how important it is to, just to stay committed, stay connected to the community of veterans, and how that bond is still good. And yeah, talk to them for like maybe a half an hour or so, right? And back and forth conversations, right? It wasn't just a keynote, it was back and forth. And after I was done, they appreciated, they gave me a check. I was
Mm.
like, oh, okay. Now, don't get me wrong. And prior to that, I did have other formal training, right? From not just Toastmasters, but John Maxwell, right? And doing other things like always looking to elevate my speaking game. But when I had the opportunity, I took it. And after that, I'm like, okay, well, let's go. Let's try to scale this thing. Yeah.
okay, yeah. So it's
Okay.
something that was definitely within your wheelhouse.
Yeah, it was. and so what I want to dig into a little bit more too, Seth, is all this development stuff within yourself. All the things that you have to do that most people don't see, right? They don't see what you go through behind the scenes.
Mm,
They see what you do on the surface. But
yeah.
can you talk to those that are maybe in their shoes where they looking to do something similar to what you're doing and what you have been doing, and
Mm,
but don't know that the work ethic that goes behind it. Like
mm.
if you're gonna do this, you got to be fully committed. You got to have good time management skills, and you got to be able to network and be resourceful with that nonstop energy drive that you have. That where you up at 3, 4 in the morning every day. I don't think people understand what goes into this. So can you just kind of speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, man. Too easy. What goes into it is the why. All right.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's it. And if your why kind of frightens you a little bit, then you know you're on the right path. And so, what I try to do is connect that why as far as helping individuals, loving individuals authentically with my friends, right? My brothers, you dig? Or, certain communities that help to inspire me because I don't want to let them down. I don't want to let my daughter down. You dig? So, anytime I think about, I don't know if this is what I want to do, or I don't feel like it anymore, I remember y'all. I remember the why. Right now, it took me some time to get there. Right, took some therapy, still in it. Right, and so I shout
Mhm.
out to my therapist, but also for those individuals that are aspiring to do this, check in with yourself. Okay, because if you're not intentional, you can hurt people. You understand? You can hurt people because you can take whatever emotional baggage that you got going on and formulate it in some nice, pretty words and project that negativity to folks. And you're not helping them. All right. You're just you're destroying them. So that's part of the things, right? Understanding the why. The other thing is I try to put certain things that keep me focused. Like one of the things I got on the board right now is life is governed by laws, not emotions.
Mm.
Life is governed by laws, not emotions. So I don't always feel like it. You understand? But in order for certain things to happen, I got to still do it. And being able to create boundaries. Like, hey, if my boundary is here, be willing to enforce that thing. I was just talking to Simone about that today. This little boy is, trying to be a little bugaboo,
Uh-oh.
right? Hey, it's happening. You right? And then so I
Uh-oh.
talked to her about it. I know, look, I was like, so do you like when he's calling you or trying to text you? And she was like, no. And I said, so when do you say you don't? And she said, well, I just don't want to hurt his feelings. I said, okay, well, guess what? Until then, get ready for your sleep to be to be disturbed, because if you don't enforce what you don't like, people never know. You dig? So I would say surrounding myself with the right individuals and individuals that's willing to tell me the truth. You understand? I don't need a cheerleader. You dig? I don't need a cheerleader, but I need brothers. I need sisters. I need real people that's not worried about hurting Seth's feelings. All right, because I really want to grow. And then again, making sure I see certain things to keep me anchored. So that would be it.
Man, that kind of just segues right to a question I want to ask when you talk about hurt feelings or growing,
Yeah.
because we really truly grow through failure. You know
Yes.
what I mean? That's one thing that we grow through. And I remember a time, maybe I think it's 2 years now, 2 years ago,
About three.
uh, 3 years,
Oh no.
was it three?
Mhm.
When you set a goal to join an organization
Yeah.
and it didn't go your way,
Mhm.
right? You know what I'm saying? And I remember us talking about it, what you thought about it and how you felt about it at that time, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that and what was the end result of that situation, and what did you learn about yourself as you was going through this process?
Okay. Cool. All right. So a few years ago, I pursued an organization, right? The organization is Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Now, um, the reason why is because I saw individuals that I looked up to, right? They was doing good things in the community, and I was doing good things too. So I was like, well, look, since I'm already doing it, let's see, right? You can go further together. And so I had a few conversations with individuals, and one individual in particular, his name is Jeff Williams, another mentor of mine, Dr. Jeff Williams. And, I told him about my interest in that. He said, okay, well, cool. I'll help you on out. He says, you're going to need certain people to vouch for you, but, I think you can do it. And he said, I'll rock with you. So start going through the process. And essentially, when it came down to a vote, I didn't get it. Right. I was essentially voted off the island. You did. Right. Now, here's the crazy part. I was flabbergasted because I'm like, hold on, everything that this organization says, I'm already it. You see? So I was like, yo, something wrong with them. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I needed that. You dig? I needed that. I needed that humbling. I needed that. Now, don't get me wrong. Fast forward. Now, I'm gonna go into that in a minute, but fast forward, I ain't want nothing to do with him. I'm like, hey, look, these some cornballs. You dig? Hey, look, you missing out on a good thing for real, right? And I'm Aries. Look, if I know me, if you don't know me, that's your problem, right? So that was kind of like my thing. However, I kept doing, kept going, right? Still connecting with people, still doing the thing, still doing. So it was brought to my attention a little later on, like, hey, listen, I think from another, individual in the same organization was like, hey, I think you should give it another try. I'm like, man, I'm straight. Okay, I'm straight. And shout out to Nate Jackson. Okay, now he was Big Nate. He was already an alpha. He was like, man, brother Seth, look, you got to do it, man. You got to do it. I'm like, yo, I'm straight. That's for you. That ain't for me. He was like, man, I think you need to reconsider. And then so I had a couple of more conversations with individuals, and then I talked to my mentor again. Okay, I'm like, hey, man, what you think? He said, I don't know how that happened. I really don't like how that happened. He was transparent the whole time. Okay, he said, I don't like how that happened. He says, but if you want to do it, I'll do it with you again. And I had to think about it. I'm like, I was on the fence. And then Nathan said, man, look, if you do it, I would. He said, if you say you're going to do it, I'm gonna transfer my my chapter from where he was at in DC to over where we are right now. Right. Actually, that chapter is in East St. Louis. And I'm like, yo, man, all right, I'll think about it. Next thing I know, this fool called me like a week later. He was like, so you got to do it now. I already transferred. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, he transferred everything. He was like, look, I'm going to be your recommender. Right. And I told Jeff, and he was like, okay, well, I guess it's time. I'm like, now part of me was like, yo, I'm going back to a place that in my eyes denied me.
Right.
Understand? Bro. Oh man. I was all in the fields. You dig? But again, it's not about the emotions, but I really had to learn something about myself that if all the things that not only I went through, but individuals that went through before me gave me the opportunity to do certain things, what sense does it make for me to quit? You dig? What sense does it make for me to allow a space or an organization to tell me I'm not worthy of it, right? So I went through that thing again, and it wasn't easier, right? It was actually harder because the first time I went through or tried to go through, it was 11 of us. This time it was 3. You understand? And so it was a lot of
right on you, yeah.
Right on me. And for those of you that don't know, there's a number thing, right? Like based off of your A height, leadership, and all that. But the ace, meaning the first person, that's either, hey, that's the leader of the crew. And so I fell in height wise as the ace, but then I continued through the process and ended up finishing the ace. So I ended up finishing that thing. Right. Nice. So there it is on the back. You see it? Yeah.
See it.
That's it. Yeah.
Tell them your name. What was your name?
Oh man, my line name is Formula.
Formula?
Yeah, PH Formula, man.
Basically soft like baby milk.
Yeah, that's what it is.
What did you learn about yourself during this process, though?
Oh man, I learned that what I think is for me may not be for me at that moment. I learned that what it looks like to take a second. Really take a second. Had to work on my emotional regulation. See what that actually truly means. And what is there really that I'm upset about? Sometimes we mad, right? Sometimes we get mad over the smallest things, the frivolous things. But it gave me the opportunity for me to step back and to ask myself what made me so mad. And the problem was, yes, first fam. You know what the issue was? It's poor expectation management. I expected to just walk through there like it wasn't nothing. I expected that, not knowing the terrain, not knowing how things were supposed to go. I just knew because they knew me, I knew them, and they knew what I had to offer. It was stupid for them not to, but I wasn't ready at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about timing.
That's real stuff right there.
So for me, my last question that I have, my big question for you is going into the title of this show, right? So I know you done stint as the commander of the VFW. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you ran for a local government position in your community and a host of other things that we haven't even touched on yet. So when I see the title, Different Hats, Same Mission, my question to you is, what is that mission?
Serving. It's really serving, man. It's serving. And man, leaving here empty. I really do think that, God gives us the business of life. Okay. And it's our responsibility not to run this business in the ground. We're supposed to manage it. Right. So whatever the talent, skills, and abilities that we have, if we're not using it, we're just squandering it. You dig what I'm saying? We're just wasting that potential and all that. So ultimately, the goal is yes. Pain is primary. You're absolutely right. Yeah. See, my sister, she's so smarter than me, y'all. I promise you, my little sister, she's like my big sister. But yeah, man, it's just any type of opportunities I believe that we're afforded to take on. Like it's a reason for it. Right? Every time we say no to something, I think that's something when we say no to opportunities, we're saying no to growing. We're saying no to the unknown just because we're afraid or because of our ego sometimes. And so, in order to bring that down and to really enjoy this life, I just say, yeah, why not? And then, therefore, I got a testimony and I got another book. You get what I'm saying?
Nice.
I got one more question before we wrap up, too.
Yeah.
And I want you to think about this, man. I want you to think about this question and be as real as you can be, right? All the knowledge, all the experiences, and everything that you went through to get to this point, right? You take a look back at young self with the dreads with the frosted tips.
Mickey, you hear Hayden?
Hold on. I'm still asking my question, damn it. You go back to frosted tips. What do you tell him besides get that shit out of his hair? What else would you tell him?
Oh man.
Seriously, what would you tell young self that's sitting in Detroit, that's probably at his lowest point? You know what I'm saying? After all the experiences, everything you went through, what would you go back and tell him to keep him encouraged?
Oh boy, that's a big one.
Put yourself on the big screen. I'm about to say, man, what we doing? Come on.
Get him, Herm.
Yeah. You can do it. You can do it. That's my sister. Yeah. I would say that. Like if I could go back in time, right? Going back to the time being on the east side of Detroit, man, all the stuff we went through, saw and didn't see, right? All types of experiences. If I can go back and say, man, listen, just don't quit. You got it. You got it. Because I think that so many times, man, life showed me and shows us reasons why we should doubt ourselves, and then you can either listen to that thing or not. All right. You can listen to that big hater, if you will. I talk about it in the book that That big hater or the little lover. The little lover is that part of you that say, go ahead, try it. It'd be okay. You know, look at him. Yeah, you could do it. That's what it is. What up? What up, Kendrick? And I think that's what I would tell myself because I've heard it so many times. That's what it is. I heard it so many times. I really didn't take a moment, even for this. Look, as an example, right here, talking to y'all. Y'all let me know how much I've done. I don't sit in that enough. Some people say I should, right? But I don't. I just want to just do it and feel it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, test of a man. Test of a man. Absolutely right. But I would just say keep going and you can do this. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's the hardest thing, man. Like hearing it from my mother, hearing it from my grandmother, uncle, some OGs, some like, go ahead, man, you can go on, you can do this, you got this, but actually believing it. So if I could go back, I would look myself in the eye, right, with them dreads. Say, like, yeah, like, yo, you're gonna be all right. Just do it though. Do it with your heart open. That's another thing, man. Do it with your heart open. Love people, right? And look, even love the ones that don't love you back. That's the other thing, right? Because it's stupid to match energy. Don't do that, right? Just be the energy. And so it took me time to really understand it. I'm still learning it, but that's what I would tell myself. And then the crazy part, I probably wouldn't even listen in. Right? Because I wouldn't believe like, you're just somebody, but if you think about it, we're told that multiple times in our life. And it's not until sometimes, unfortunately, it's too late when you're like, yo, I should have listened. So now I just want to lean into the listening part, but not just listening, walking through it so that my sister, my daughter, my son, and all those individuals that love me and can see the things that I'm doing, that their words didn't fall on deaf ears.
No doubt.
So there it is.
Yo, man, give yourself a round of applause, man. Hit that round of applause. Hey, man, you got any closing remarks before we wrap up, man?
Oh,
Man,
I always got closing remarks.
go ahead. Go ahead.
So first and foremost, I want to start with Herm. I appreciate you, brother, for bringing me on. I mean, you could have picked anybody, brother. To be honest, you could have, but I appreciate you considering me and being thoughtful with me. It means a lot. So we don't talk as much, and that's fine. But and same thing with Seth. We don't talk every day, and we don't have to because when we do talk, we really talk, link, and connect, and it's almost like we've been talking since every day of the week or whatever. So I appreciate the invite and thank you for bringing me on. It feels good to be back on here, and I see what you brothers are doing and keep it going. Now to Seth, bro, you know how we get down. We Aries first and foremost. Like we already bonded. I think the first day we met in that parking lot, we clicked like nothing. Like you was big bro from another mother, right? So I just want to say you're very inspirational. I see all the things you do, and there's no envy in me because I'm like, hey, that man got more energy than anybody I know, and my hat's off to him. It's very inspiring, though. And I would like to give you your flowers today while you're alive. I see the comments. I see the people that came on and said all the things that we say to you probably on a daily that, it may mean something, it may not mean something. I don't know. But just keep doing what you're doing, man. We see you. You are an inspiration to me. I use some of the things that you do, even if when you don't see it. And I still use it today in the military to pass on to the young bucks that's coming behind me, man. So thank you. Keep going, and much love to you.
Man, thanks. Yo, that's
I got the last word, man. I'm the host.
Go ahead.
So it's your turn. It's your turn. You got any? Well, no, it's my turn.
Go ahead.
Hey, Seth, man, we talk almost. But first and foremost, Larry, I couldn't have picked nobody else to come do this with us, man. You know what I mean? I really couldn't have, man. And I appreciate you coming on. You know what I mean? I know I joke about you being my wife's favorite, but I see why that is, man, because you don't meet too many real people like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely had to have you on, man. And yeah, we don't talk as much, but man, you know the love is always there, man. Straight up. And my dog Seth, man, I'm really thankful that you finally agreed to do this show for multiple reasons, right? You host this show, you know what I mean? And I feel like the people should know who they are dealing with, who is behind that mic when we're on this show, man. You are a force to be reckoned with, and I hope that you understand that and never ever try to dumb yourself down to fit inside anybody's rooms, right? I've been there, you know what I'm saying? We've been there for each other. You've been there for me a lot. You're my newest friend, you know what I mean? And I have to say, one of my most impactful friends. You was in my wedding. You know what I mean? I just met you 5 minutes ago. You know what you know what I mean? And like Larry, I met you like in passing as well. I was trying to request a song and you looked at me crazy. I'm like, this dude is crazy, man. But from the moment of meeting you and watching how you move and you know what I'm saying, all the things that you do, I gotta admit, sometimes it can get intimidating. It's like, damn, how can you breathe around this cat? You know what I mean? Because if you breathe one way, it's another idea for another thing we should be doing. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I don't know. I don't want to say anything because we might be on another mission. You know what I mean? Like, but that's what makes you special, man, is that you're going to get up and go. You're going to light that fire to get people to drive and get people to do things. You can't be stagnant around you. You know what I mean? You can't be stale around you. You know what I mean? You got to keep it moving. You know what I mean? You live by example. You know what I mean? You don't just talk about what people should do. You live by example. You know what I mean? And you put action behind your words, which a lot of people can't say that they do. You know what I mean? I love you from the heart, and I'm thankful that, you know what I'm saying, that we're friends. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, on to the next show. Put your ass on this camera, man.
Man, yo, man, I appreciate y'all again, man. I say I love you for real, and I don't like using that easy, you know. I don't like saying that when it's not real, but it's serious, man, because y'all have been there through some hard times. For real, and some good times, and I appreciate that, right? And for everybody that's listening, y'all, we've been doing this for a while, y'all. Really have, but it's more than just conversations. This is truly growth and development, right? We have real good conversations about where we need to do, where we need to, you know what I'm saying? Like all of those types of things, right? And I appreciate this. So I don't know what to say, man. I thank y'all, though, for real. Shout out to y'all. Yeah.
Hey, so let's close this out, man. You know what I mean? Everybody that's watching, thank y'all for popping in, tuning in. Seth's sister making sure to let me know that he was still fly with the frosted tips. Respect that. You know what I mean? My mother-in-law, my wife, and everybody else that been watching, man, that's been rocking with us this whole time. We appreciate that. Let us know if you want a round two.
Oh, wait.
There's a lot we didn't talk about.
No. Hey, 10 more years, right?
Hey, much love, everybody. We out, man.
Yeah.
Peace.